What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Raquel, if you don't already know. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this eye look. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Alright, so I have already started off with my brows done and carved out, and I used my TooFaced concealer for that. So now I'm going to go ahead and prep my eye. I'm going to be using the P.Louise and Mitchell Acid Rain base in the shade Blank Canvas. This base is actually really nice if you are doing cut creases. It's like thick and it gets tacky, so the color sticks to it really nice. I love this base. I highly recommend it. So now that I had applied it, I'm just taking my Real Techniques brush and I'm basically blending it out, making sure that it's nice and flat, smooth canvas right before I put my shadow on. So that's very important. All right, taking the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. This palette is so pretty. Look at these colors. And I'm gonna go ahead and take that Crazy shade. Yeah, it's called Crazy. And that's actually gonna be my crease color. But before I do that, I wanna make sure that there's no creasing since I didn't apply product right away. That might happen. So just making sure there's no creasing, and then I'm gonna take that shade Crazy and put that into my crease. All right, so I'm just packing that Crazy shade into my crease. Pack, as you can see. You want to make sure that, for me, I like to start backwards when I'm doing a cut crease. So I'll start with the darker shade and then work my way up to the lighter shade, because I want this to be very bold, deep, prominent. And don't worry about if you get it on the lid. You really want to focus it on the crease. All right, so now we're taking the shade Living My Best, and we're gonna go ahead and apply that right above where we packed on the Crazy shade. Just using this shade to kind of blend out that Crazy shade as pretty much my transition color, but I'm gonna be going in with lighter ones as well, but we want it to blend seamlessly. All right, so now I'm going back in with the Crazy shade just to make it darker, because I felt like when I added the Living My Best, that red shade, it kind of lightened it up. So I'm just gonna go back in and make it darker again with a small, detailed, fluffy brush. Next shade I'm going in with is going to be Homebody, and I'm actually applying that above the Living My Best, which was the red shade. Blending that out. At this point, I was like, I don't really like it, so let me go in with a lighter shade. So I went in with Feeling Myself, excuse me, which is more of a bright orange shade. Okay, so basically I'm just going back in with those few shades that I used. So I'm going in with Crazy to deepen the crease, and then I'll go in with Living My Best, which was the red shade, to make it more bold. Then I go in with Feeling Myself, which was the orange shade, you know, just to blend it more. That's what I was doing, just going back in with the colors just to make it more bold. So now, if you watch my previous videos, you know that I like to use a off-white color or a nude color to give me that seamless airbrush look for my shadow. So I'm going to be using my Sephora Collection number 207 eyeshadow, which is matte. And I'm going to be using that to give me that airbrush look. So, like, look at the difference. From this side to this side, you can see the difference. All right, so now that I have both sides blended out, I know I look crazy. We're gonna take this Garnier, I think that's how you say it, micellar water, and I'm actually going to be cleaning up my lid space because I am gonna be cutting the crease. And when I cut the crease, I don't want any of this dark shadow to be on that white pigment because then it's gonna make it like pink, and I don't want that. So I'm just kind of cleaning up the area that I am gonna be using to cut my crease. All right, so now I'm taking my paintbrush. Yes, it's a paintbrush. This is like the best brush ever to cut crease. I have multiple different ones, and I get my paintbrushes from Michael's. And yeah, so I'm basically using my paintbrush, and I'm using the P.Louise base that I used from the beginning, and I'm cutting my crease. So when I cut my crease, I actually like to stamp, and then bring the product down. So that's what you see me doing. I don't want too much product to be right there on the crease because if it transfers up, it's gonna be hard to fix. I might even have to start over because it is a white pigment. So you can see me kind of carving and stamping and then bringing the product down so that there's not too much product there. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and bring it all the way down on the outer corner of my eye. Because when I add color there, I want it all to be the same saturation. So I'm going to go ahead and add the base all the way down there. And I'm going to clean it up anyway, so it's fine. So now I'm taking this yellow shade, and it's called No Joke. And I'm actually going to take a small flat brush, and I'm going to be applying that on the inner part of my eye. I do switch brushes in between this for this part when I'm doing the actual lid part, the cut crease part, because this brush that I'm using right now is kind of big for the detailed areas, like the smaller areas. So I'm going to be switching between this one and a smaller one as well to help me get the color all the way on the edge part. And when I apply color onto the lid, I press it on. You can see that I'm just patting the color on, pressing it in. You don't want to necessarily blend this part because then you won't get that much pigment or saturation. So just press it in. Now I'm going to be taking the shade Therapy Sesh, which is a super pretty lilac. I guess this is lilac color. And I'm putting that next to the yellow shade. And I was looking at it, I was like, I kind of don't like that. So after this, I'm gonna add another shade in between. All right, so I'm taking Feeling Myself, and that is the shade that I'm going to be using in between that lilac color and the orange and the yellow, sorry. All right, so now I'm taking the shade Oh Hello, and I'm gonna be applying that right next to that lilac color. So basically what we're doing is starting from the lightest, ending with the darkest on the outer. Alright, so now I'm going back in with that shade Crazy, and I'm going to be adding that on the outer part of my eye. So I'm going to be taking Temptress and putting that on the outer part of my eye, just to make it a little bit darker so that it kind of matches how the crease looks. And from here, I'm going to be going in backwards with the colors that I used, just to blend it, to make it look more seamless, because at first it kind of looked a little bit harsh. So I'm just going in with that lilac shade to blend it, then I'll be going in with the orange, and then I'll be going in with the yellow, and even adding a little bit of white on the inner corner of my eyes. That's the only time I would blend my lid, is when I'm blending the colors together. So initially I would pack it on, just to make sure that the saturation and the pigment is there, and then I would blend out the colors. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my shadow, any fallout and stuff like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and do my complexion and my lashes off camera, and I'll be back to show you guys how I did underneath my eye, the shadow underneath my eyes. Okay, so I'm going in with my P.Louise base in a small detailed brush, and I'm just kind of lining my underneath my lash line. I'm going about halfway, not all the way. Now I'm taking the shade Feeling Myself, and I'm also taking that shade Oh Hello, and the last shade I'm taking is Crazy, and I'm actually just blending those right underneath my eye. I would say be careful with this part though, because you could get fallout. As you could see, I kind of got a little bit, but I am taking a fluffy brush, a fluffy flat brush, and I am blending out the colors after I apply them, and yeah. And this is the finished look. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.